Today's scramble is Grinds Brook, which runs from the Kinder Plateau down into Edale. There's a waterfall marked on the OS map, which is a little bit further up, but this little cascade and where it opens out into moorland seems to be a pretty good place to come down towards Grinds Brook and start thinking about getting in. I've recce'd 3 or 4 other locations on the way from Edale, some footbridges, but the brook down there is too broad, too shallow and too flat to make entry lower down worthwhile. Here's the actual fella, the waterfall that is marked on the Ordnance Survey map. About 6 foot for the initial steep gradient and then 6 foot of cascade on top. As ever from a pool, typically the pools look to be about waist deep. Easy steps to get up it. My predictive abilities remain as crap as ever. The pool was neck deep and the waterfall was quite tricky to get up, and you get a proper soaking, especially if you go up the middle. Tracking above the waterfall, the best that Grinds Brook has to offer is a 4, 5 here, 6 foot cascade, but there's a reasonable path, at least in November, that runs alongside the brook, so you can hop in and out as you please. Now the gradient is starting to tighten and the nature of the brook is changing. It's becoming a fairly continuous, modest scramble, and up ahead a few things that one might call a little bit moderate scramble. Here Grinds Brook turns a little bit of a corner. There is a steep gully running off to the right, and I would say that so far in the steeper section the scrambling has been on and off, little bit here, little bit there. It's been about half a kilometre from where the gully moves off and it turns the corner of what I'd call little babbling brook mode. Just got out, followed the path alongside, and here's a nice little set of cascades moving towards the final section of Grinds Brook. This is typical of what you'll find in the upper reach, but key problem is it is incredibly slippery underfoot. You'll eventually come to a choice point. On your left is a gully going off, obviously, to the Kinder Plateau, which is rated in the Scrambles in the Dark Peak book as a 1/2 scramble, but it recommends carrying on here, saying that this is a grade 1 scramble to get up to the top. Now getting towards the punchline of Grinds Brook. You could easily dry scramble this if you want to. Obvious places either over the top of the rocks or to the left or to the right, but it's pretty fun taking it up the central line in the brook. To this point it's been steady sub grade 1 boulder scrambling. There's a couple of little cascades opening out. One positive I'd say is that it really hasn't been too slippery so far. Good footholds and handholds. Branching off to the left at this point is what looks to be a proper grade 1.5 type gully. That would well be worth investigating. Now the clough is narrowing into a series of stepped cascades as we come closer to the top. Here's another example of what you'll face at the top of Grinds Brook. Maybe 10-foot drop in total for this cascade, broken boulders. It'll be okay to go up the centre, but easy alternative routes to right and left. Coming up to a set of cascades over layered rock as we approach ever closer to the plateau. Here's the obvious endpoint to get out of Grinds Brook, where the plateau pathway crosses over. I'll start with the positives about Grinds Brook. It's easy to get to by public transport. You just walk up from Edale Station. The waterfall at the beginning was nice. Apart from one small section, it really wasn't slippery. Good grip on most of the rocks. And the final scramble section was okay. Nice view at the top as well. The downside of Grinds Brook, it's all a bit meh. no real challenges, no real difficulties, and certainly a general feeling of why would you bother, given that you've got Crowden Brook just down the way, which is somewhat better in a proper grade 1. I'm not sure I'd really give this a full grade 1 rating. Maybe if you went to some of the side gullies, that could improve it. But otherwise, I would stick to Crowden probably if you're in this area.
Here's an overview map of the Grinds Brook scramble. Start from Edale Station or car park and walk north along the road and then path above the brook. You can start the scramble at the cascade and then waterfall after the wood. Dip in and out as you please until the main fork, then full scramble up the right fork to the plateau. Return to Edale along the path that runs south and then southeast. Further details are given in the text description underneath the video.